Assassin's Creed Mirage is right around the corner, and with the new gameplay that's just been released, it really is worth being excited for. There is a lot of new information to go over, so I'm going to summarise all of the big things that I noticed, and let's go. Now, the general feeling from all those lucky YouTubers who got to play it early is positive, very positive in fact. There was a lot of backlash initially surrounding Basim's teleport, but that seems very much now to have been squashed. We'd all hoped that Mirage was going to take us back to the older style of AC games, moving away not just from the massive maps from the RPG 3, but with stealth and being an assassin the main focus of the game, and not being an unstoppable godlike warrior. The assassinations for one are quick, stylish and utterly brutal. Some of those animations have been copied from Valhalla, it is running on the same system after all, but the new assassination animations they've added are looking fantastic, and there is a lot of variety within these animations too, not just the same thing over and over again. We also have the return of the black box missions, which weren't so much of a return as they did have 5 of these in the Siege of Paris DLC from Valhalla, but nonetheless these are a welcomed addition. Now all of these selected YouTubers all played the same black box mission, and from all the videos I've seen they mostly did all follow the same path, which is interesting as the point of the black box missions is that there's multiple ways to assassinate the target in question. But I do imagine this is more down to the encouragement of the game or the more obvious ways of doing things, rather than potentially taking a more select path. There were things like tailing NPCs, listening into conversations, and even a moment where you got to bid during an auction. I may be a little skeptical about the actual choices of these, but I enjoyed them in the Siege of Paris. They were actually one of the best parts, so I'm quietly confident from the footage that I've seen that they are going to live up to expectations. Do check out my review on the Siege of Paris by the way if you were ever tempted. Using your bird to scope out an area has also returned, and reviews seem kinda mixed. Some are loving it as a way to scope out areas and work out your path, whereas others aren't too bothered and are opting for that more original experience. I think it's good overall, it's there if it's wanted, but obviously you don't have to use it. In terms of the movement, this seems to be a definite improvement from at least the past 3 games. It's not widely different to Valhalla as expected, but we have the rope to swing around corners on, the pole to traverse between buildings, but everything looks to be quicker and more fluid. Another big complaint from the early footage was that slow movement from Basim, which has obviously been addressed I imagine to many people's delight. One thing I would say though is that we're definitely not getting that movement that we had in AC Unity. There's no pushing off walls or anything like that, but there are definitely way more enjoyable map opportunities with your movement than there was in Valhalla, and overall I think most of us will at the very least be content. This brings us nicely onto the city of Baghdad itself, which overall continues to look fantastic. It's dense, crowded, and this really appears to be an Assassin's Creed game that if you don't want to spend any time on the ground, you don't have to. You can quite easily just maneuver across the rooftops stalking your enemies without muddying yourself with the peasants down on the ground. The 4 different districts all have a very unique feel to them, all absolutely crammed with NPCs, different architecture, historical buildings, markets and much more. This to me seems to be a nice smash between AC1 and Origins, linking the old and the new. We even got to see some footage of Alamut, the training centre and stronghold for the assassins, which I'm really excited to see. It's not completed yet, it's currently being built, but from the moment this was mentioned, it's a really cool nod to the OG games, with supposedly a lot of Easter eggs for us to enjoy. Blending in has thoroughly returned to Mirage, and whilst included in Valhalla this was pretty simple, whereas in Mirage you can blend in with multiple environments and crowds, again giving that more old school feeling from the earlier games. By the way guys, if you're enjoying this video so far, do be sure to hit that like and subscribe button as it would really help my channel out, and I will be making a ton more of future Mirage content. Now moving on to the combat, this was something we'd seen very little of in all previous footage and will likely be a deal breaker for some AC fans on whether they'll purchase. As Mirage is working within Valhalla's engine, the combat hasn't largely changed, it's still sticking with that RPG combat feel, but personally for me I actually enjoyed the Valhalla combat, so I'm happy with what I've seen so far. The whole point of Mirage is that stealth is the main focus, so combat is seen as something you should only use if you have to. Basim himself is pretty weak with enemies taking multiple hits, although nowhere near the amount as in Odyssey, and they even have one enemy who can only deal damage to from the back, again just further encouraging you to take that stealthy route. There are however some really great combos like doing a light attack and a heavy attack which makes Basim do an uppercut, but parrying is going to be the key to success during combat. With most enemies, a parry is an instant kill, which I think is a really nice addition, rather in Valhalla where you'd have enemies drop into stun mode. In general, I don't think the combat is anything too revolutionary, but I still think it's going to be enjoyable enough when you have to use it. We also got to see the notoriety system, which wasn't within Valhalla at all, with strong enemy types hunting you down when you're top of the wanted list, as well as these long chases where you'll have to hide out of enemies' lines of sight or blend in with your local environment. Your notoriety can be triggered by things like stealing and getting caught, killing NPCs, or just having massive open fights, and can be lowered by either removing posters or eventually killing the mercenary who will come and hunt you at level 3. They also showed us a lot more of the different tools we can use, which I think is really going to elevate this game into a proper stealth experience. The throwing knives look really satisfying, with your smoke bomb probably going to be your most useful tool, allowing you to assassinate anyone instantly after using it. With the story though, there is obviously very little information out there at the moment, which is to be expected, as who wants something spoiled for them before its release. But the general feeling from those lucky enough to play is that the story is much darker and serious than previous titles, which I think is a good thing. Sure, it's fun to have wisecracks from Jacob in AC Syndicate or Cassandra in AC Odyssey, but to me, games about assassins that work in the shadows should have that darker feel to them. Overall, I just can't explain how excited I am. Having played every mainline Assassin's Creed game, and whilst enjoying Origins, Odyssey and Valhalla, to have a new AC game that is more rooted in the original mechanics from my younger days is something many of us have been dreaming of for years. Bring on the next few weeks, but if you wanted to know what I think the worst aspects of every Assassin's Creed game is, why not watch my next video?